There is a reason why most people do not achieve their goals. And it's not for lack of wanting it or even lacking of trying. I am Gigi Beer, a nervous system wealth coach helping entrepreneurs grow profits and peace at the same time. And today I will show you what it takes to achieve your goals this year. If you want a quick read on how your nervous system responds to stress, check out my free mood ring quiz. The link is in the descriptions. When we're talking about goal setting, there are so many pieces that goes to it. And it all starts with creating achievable outcomes. When we are creating achievable outcomes, it needs to be something that is doable, something that is tangible, that is measurable. So instead of this year saying, I want to make more money, tell the amount of money that you want. How much money you want in your revenue, how much money you want to your profit, how much money you want to be paying yourself. Be very specific. You need to be specific when you're creating goals so you can measure against it. So that is the first thing for everybody to do. Because if you say more money, it can be $1 or it can be $1,000. Be specific with what that looks like. The second thing that we do need to be very cognizant when we're talking about setting goals and achieving your goals is what are your current patterns? Is that awareness of what are your current patterns and how those things might get in the way of you achieving your goals. So let's use the same example as before. Most people come work with me because they want to increase their revenue. They want their revenue and their profits to be more sustainable. And once they set that standard of how much money they want to make, how much profit they want to have, how much they want to pay themselves every single month, the next step that we go to is observing their patterns. What are the things that they do? And one example that I see a lot are my clients that want more sustainable revenue and sustainable profit, and they're always in that launch cycle. So, what are the patterns that they see? That they spend a lot of energy launching something, they have a big cash month, and then they need to deliver the program, deliver the mastermind. And they don't have that consistent revenue anymore, and their energy dips and they hide, and they're not talking about their offers that might be self-led programs, that might be a single call. They're not talking, so they have no revenue coming in because they're so in the weeds of delivering. So they have a big dip in their revenue, and then they need to go out and launch again. So they have the cycle that is not sustainable for them. And it's kind of creating that wreck in their nervous system. So perhaps the alternative here is to create a marketing plan that works without your energetic and time input every single day. You need to be aware of your current patterns. Another thing that we need to be aware is of our constraints and our environment. Perhaps your goal for 2026 is to quit your full-time job and go all in your business. You need to account that you have a big chunk of your days that you're going to be working on your job. What are the ways that you can make it more fun, more exciting, and more achievable to work in your business? Is it waking up a few hours earlier? Is it going to bed a few hours later? Is it using your weekends to really work on your business? We need to know something that is attainable. We don't want to have that mindset of going all in the first month of the year, in the first quarter of the year, and then things just don't get done because you're burnout, you're tired, you don't have the energy to do anything. So those are the things that we need to be very aware. The other thing that I feel is crucial for achieving your goals, no matter how small or how big they are, is work on your self-concept, work on the identity of the version of you who already achieved that goals. And notice that I said version of you. It's not a different person. It is you, but a different version. Are they more confident? Do they procrastinate less? What are the things that they have? What are the qualities that they have? What are the resources that they have? What is the behavior that they have that makes achieving that goal inevitable? And those are the things that we're going to be focusing more, that I recommend my clients focusing more, is that identity piece of it. And full disclaimer, one of the things that I see a lot is act as if. And when we're doing identity work, we're literally acting as if, right? As if I'm this upgraded version of who I am. But one of the things that is crucial, especially when we're talking about money and wealth, it is you want to act in abundance. Abundance is a large quantity of something. Wealth is a large quantity of assets. That means money, properties, whatever. We need to focus that is not acting as if and spending money that you don't have and getting into debt. That is not the answer here. This is just going to dysregulate your nervous system even more and get you in a state where you are unable to achieve your goals because you have all the stress and all those things that are taking so much space in your mind. So, what you want to do acting as if, it's focusing more on the qualities, on behaviors, on action, perhaps skills. Perhaps you need to hone a skill in human design or astrology. Perhaps you're more confident when dealing with your money, so you're going to get some financial education lessons. Those are the things that we want to focus more this behavior, this way of being. And that is crucial. And lastly, and this is not the last thing, but I think this is like almost the core of being able to achieve your goals, is your nervous system regulation. I do have the nervous system mood ring quiz that is free. It's on the description below that will tell you what is your default nervous system activation right now and how you can actually self-regulate. But the thing about having your goals tied with your nervous system regulation and doing the work to expand the capacity of your nervous system to heal certain traumas, in my opinion, and my personal experience, is that when we do nervous system regulation work, we are healing trauma because we are expanding our capacity to deal with stress. And that is very important because when we talk about achieving a goal that is a little bit bigger, that is a stretch from where you are in your comfort zone, it will trigger trauma responses, subconscious patterns that sometimes you don't even know you have. Because what you're doing is you're expanding, you're trying to expand your comfort zone. And our nervous system, our brain, our body was designed for survival. And it doesn't know if more or that expansion that you want is safe. So you're going to get triggered, you're going to get reactive. So always being able to come back home to who you are, to your body, to that peacefulness is so important. And one of the things that I tell my clients, especially the ones that are super busy and feel that they don't have a lot of consistent chunks of times to do meditation, to do breath work, to do all the things that we know helps regulate your nervous system, is find micro moments of awareness. When you find those micro moments of stillness, of awareness in your day-to-day life, you can start regulating your nervous system. And my favorite one, and I talk this time and time again, is in between tasks, I just take a moment to kind of sink in to my body. Exhalation, and just feel how my body's feeling, noticing my breath. And I really like to focus on the sensations of my body. Perhaps like right now, my hands are cold, so I can think to myself or say out loud, like, my hands are a little bit cold, my breath feels a little bit shallow, or my breath feel very deep and relaxed. I feel a little bit tension on my neck. Whatever it is, I feel a calmness in my mind. Whatever it is, I kind of connect with those feelings, kind of reset, and go back to the next task. This takes you a few seconds, and creating this moment of micro awareness of coming back to your body, coming back to the present moment is a very good tool for self regulation. If we are on the go and all of a sudden we get triggered, we get activated, there are a lot of techniques that you can use as well. I like breath work. So just slow down your breath and focus on a longer exhalation. A very popular one that is you breathe in for 4, you hold for 7 counts, and you exhale for 8 counts. That's a very popular one to down regulate from that activation. Just focusing on slowing your breath, larger exhalations, focus on breathing from your belly. So make sure that your belly is moving when you're breathing instead of just your chest or your shoulders. This is shoulder breathing. Chest breathing is a sign of stress. So bring back to the belly. Imagine a balloon in your belly. When you inhale, the balloon is expanding. When you're exhaling, that balloon is contracting. Do that for a few counts. That is a very good down regulation. There's also what I call the senses game. Notice things that you can see and name them. Notice things that you can hear, things that you can feel, things that you can smell, and something that you can taste. So perhaps every time you're going to take a sip of water, a sip of your smoothie, a sip of your tea, of your coffee, you just really focus on the taste of that drink. You really focus on the things that you see around you. All those things are very good to self-regulate, to allow your body to know that whatever new thing you're doing is safe. And we do that by repetition. So you're going to do this time and time again. It will feel hard. The little pauses, the senses game, whatever it is that you choose to do, it will take a little bit of effort, but it takes effort to be effortless. And as a bonus, there is this part of goal setting that I don't see a lot of people talking about. And I think it's very important is having that sense of what are the things that you do that get in your way and what you're going to do to overcome them. So perhaps this year I want to lose 10 pounds. And one of the things that I notice is that when I am feeling a little bit stressed, I always go for a bag of Oreos. Okay, so I'm stressed, I eat Oreos, I gain weight. I want to lose weight. So instead of having Oreos at home, I'm going to have baby carrots and hummus on the fridge. And that's what I'm going to go for. It is finding those things like when this happens, I do that. And that is a behavior I no longer want. What can I do to remediate it? Perhaps you have bouts of the blues, right? You get very depressed and low motivated. When you feel that way, you generally just read a book and you cocoon for days and you do nothing. That is not a behavior that you want anymore. So perhaps when you're feeling the blues, you're going to call a friend. You're going to make that connection with somebody else to get you a little bit out of that freeze mode and more into an activity. That is something that is incredibly important because you're not only gaining the awareness of your patterns of what to do when things are not necessarily on track or when a life happens, and you're finding the ways to overcome it and you're telling yourself what is that you're going to do. This helps a lot with consistency, mood flows, and I think it's very life-changing. And everybody that I have helped with goal settings, I do a lot of those on my single sessions, the Wealth Rewire, is when we create all those protocols of achievable outcome, of having your self-concept, of regulating your nervous system, of having that micro moments of awareness throughout the day, and of knowing what comes in hindsight and finding the way to overcome it and having like a replacement thing for that is so, so important and so, so powerful. And everybody that went through this process with me have achieved their goals or more. And this is what I like doing. And I guess that my question to you is, did you set any goals for 2026 already? If you have, let me know below what is the main part of your identity that you're gonna need to shift to make that happen. I would love to hear from you. So, if you're ready to see how you could become and how you can have tools that serve you for self-regulation, you can take my free mood ring quiz. It will show your nervous system default and a step to grow from the inside out. 2026 is yours. Don't forget your quiz, and I'll see you on the next episode.